Lesson 5.2, Part 2. Our objective is to write an equation of a line using slope-intercept form. Guidelines for writing an equation of a line. If given 2 points on the line, use the slope formula and the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You'll use the slope formula to find the slope of the line, then use the slope-intercept form with one of the points to find the y-intercept. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Math Academy. This is Lesson 5.2, Part 2. We're writing equations of lines. We're going to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form using slope-intercept form, okay? If you saw the first part of this lesson, we wrote equations of lines in slope-intercept form. In the first part, we were given the slope and the y-intercept. The difference in the second part, we're not given the slope, however, we are given 2 points. From those 2 points, we will calculate the slope and then we will proceed as we did in the first part of the video. It's a fairly simple process, however, you do need some practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, example 2, it says write an equation of a line that passes through. I have 2 points. One point is 4, 4, and the other point is 2, negative 2. Well, in the first video, the first part of this lesson, we had the slope. The difference is here, we don't know what the slope is, but if we have these 2 points, we can calculate the slope. So one formula that I'm going to use, I'm going to need to use the slope formula. And the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now once I have the slope of the line, then I'm going to use the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so for this process, we have the 2 formulas that we need in order to write the equation. We have the slope formula and the y-intercept form, but first we have to find the slope, okay? So now I have my 2 points, 4, 4, and 2, negative 2. I'm going to calculate my slope. I need to know, well, what's my x1 and my y1 and my x2 and my y2, okay? So when I arrange the points in my slope formula, it will become negative 2 minus 4 over 2 minus 4. For my numerator, negative 2 minus 4 gives me negative 6. And for my denominator, 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2. Okay, I can reduce that. A negative divided by a negative, negative 6 divided by negative 2, I know that's going to be positive, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, so that means that my slope is positive 3. Okay, so let me write that down over here. I like for my students to write things down because you're still learning. And if you write it down, you don't have to, you have less chance of making a mistake. You don't have to worry about trying to memorize everything. You have it written down, and after a while it will start to stick with you, okay? So now in the previous lesson we had the slope and a point. So now I'm back to the first part of this lesson. I have my slope, I have 2 points. Now let me tell you, it does not matter which one of these points you use to work the rest of this problem. I have 2 points, they're both on the exact same line. So no matter which point I use, I'm going to get the equation of a line, the line, because they're both on the same line. So it doesn't matter which point I use, but I believe I will pick this ordered pair, 2, negative 2, and I'll use that point, okay? So just like in part 1, I need an x, a y, and I need a b. I already know what the slope is. So my x is going to be 2. My y is going to be negative 2. The b is what we're looking for, okay? Now, like I said, at this point, it just turns into a problem like we did in part 1. I'm going to use this information in order to figure out what the y-intercept is. Once I have the slope, and I already have that, I need to know the y-intercept, and I can write my equation of a line, okay? So I'll put this information in slope-intercept form. It becomes negative 2 equals, what's my slope? 3 times 2 plus b. I'll use this information in order to figure out, okay, well, what's the y-intercept of this line? So this becomes negative 2 equals 3 times 2 is 6 plus b. I'll subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. I'm simply solving for b. Negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. 6's cancel out is equal to b. So now I know the y-intercept. I know where this line crosses the y-axis. Now that I have the y-intercept and my slope, I no longer need the point. I no longer need the x and the y value. I have enough information to write the equation. So now my answer becomes y equals, what's my slope? 3x plus a negative 8. Now some of you may want to write it that way, or you can simply say y equals 3x minus 8. Either way is correct. Excuse me. Let's try this next one together. We'll try 2 together, then you'll try 2 on your own. So for the next one, we're doing the exact same thing. We need the exact same formulas. We need the slope formula. Once again, your slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Your slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Once again, what information do we need? We need to know the slope of the line. We have these 2 points. This line passes through the point 4, negative 5, and 0, 1. You got 2 points and they're on the exact same line. So let's figure out what the slope of this line is. So this becomes, I'm just taking my ordered pairs and I'm arranging them into the slope formula. This becomes 1 minus a negative 5 over 0 minus 4. Okay? Remember, when you have these back-to-back negatives, they turn to positive. So this is 1 plus 5, which is 6, over 0 minus negative 4. Excuse me, 0 minus 4 gives me negative 4. I can reduce that. I can, factor out a 2. I can divide out 2. So this becomes 3 over negative 2. Okay? So if the 2 is negative, that means the entire thing is negative. So I know my slope. So my slope is a negative 3 over 2. I need an x. I have the m. I need an x, a y, and a b. Just like lesson 5.2 part 1. The x and the y, I get it. I pick a point. It doesn't matter which point. I could pick 4 and negative 5, or I can use 0, 1. I'm going to tell you something about myself. If it has a 0 in it, I'm all in. I'm using this point 0, 1. So for my x value, it becomes 0. My y value, it becomes 1. Once again, it does not matter which point that you pick because they're both on the same line, so you'll get the same equation. They're on the same line. The y-intercept is what I'm looking for. Okay, I need that y-intercept in order to write the equation. So now I will arrange these numbers in slope-intercept form. This becomes 1 equals a negative 3 over 2 times 0. See, this is why I like to pick the 0, plus b. So this gives me 1 equals negative 3 halves times 0 is simply 0 plus b. So this leaves me with 1 is equal to b. So I know that my y-intercept is b. Once again, once I have my y-intercept, I have my slope, my y-intercept. I no longer need that point. I no longer need the x and the y value, and I can write my equation now in slope-intercept form. It will become y equals negative 3 halves x plus 1. And that's my final answer. It's a fairly simple process. Now what I want you to do, I want you to pause this video. I want you to try the next two problems on your own. Remember, you have to find the slope first. Then you use your slope and one of the points that's on the line to calculate your y-intercept, to figure out what the y-intercept is. Once you have that y-intercept, you put the slope and the y-intercept together to write your equation of your line. It's a fairly simple process. Then restart your video to check your answers. If you've restarted your video, that means you're ready to check your answers. So let's go ahead and see what we have for these next two. Okay? Still going to write the formulas that you're going to need up here. Slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's your slope formula. The other formula that you'll need is your slope intercept, y equals mx plus b. Those are the two that you're going to use, okay? So now I know that you need to find your slope first. So this will become -1 minus a -4. Now everybody should have this, okay? And then 0 minus 4. Have back-to-back negative signs, so turn them to plus. So this becomes -1 plus 4, which is 3. For my denominator, I have 0 minus 4. That'll give you a -4, meaning that making the slope a -3 over 4. So now I have the slope, I have the m. I know I need my x, I need an x, I need a y, and I need to know what the b is in order to write the equation. I pick a point, it doesn't matter which point. I'm going to use this point, 0, -1 for my x and my y. And the b is what I'm looking for. Now, some of you may have used a point 4 and -4. It doesn't matter. You should get the same answer. If you don't, you need to go back and check to see what you did wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to arrange these numbers in slope-intercept form. It becomes -1 equals a -3 over 4. X is 0 plus b is I don't know. That's what we're looking for. It becomes -1 equals 0 times any number is 0 plus b. So that means -1 is b. My y-intercept is b. So now once I have that, I no longer need the x and the y value. I've already figured out what the y-intercept is. That's all I need. I need my slope and I need my y-intercept in order to write my equation, and I have that information. So this becomes y equals -3 over 4 x plus a -1, or you can write it as y equals -3 over 4 x minus 1. They both mean the exact same thing. Now once again, if you've made a mistake, go back and check your answers. Okay? Let's check out this last one together. Slope formula. Slope-intercept form. Calculate your slope. It'll be -5 minus 3 over -3 minus a -1. Make sure that you have your numbers in your slope formula arranged in the proper order. I do find a lot of students will make mistake there and it'll throw the entire thing off. Okay, so for your numerator you have -5 minus 3 giving you a -8. For your denominator You have negative 3 plus 1. Remember to change these two back-to-back negative signs into positives, okay? So negative 3 plus 1 will give you a negative 2. Then you have to reduce. You'll have a negative 4. Should have negative 8 divided by a negative 2, excuse me. Negative 8 divided by a negative 2, a negative divided by a negative is positive, so this should be a positive 4. So now I have my m value. My m is 4. I need an x, need the y, and I need the b. I'll pick a point. Think I'll take this one. I'll take this first ordered pair, and I'll use negative 1 for my x, 3 for my y, the b. I don't know. That's what I'm looking for. I'll put them in the order of the slope-intercept form. So that's going to be 3 is equal to 4 times negative 1 plus b. So that'd be 3 equals negative 4 plus b. I'll add 4 to both sides of this equation to solve for b. This leaves me with 3 plus 4 is 7. 4's cancel out. 7 is equal to b. Now I know the y-intercept of the equation. I no longer need that x or that y. I have the two pieces of information that I need in order to write my equation. So my equation becomes y equals 4x plus 7. It's a fairly simple process. All it takes is a little bit of practice. I hope that this video has been of some use to you. If it has, please view more of our videos on mathacademyonline.com. That's our website, or you can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and check out all of our videos. Thank you.